And it probably will take a little bit to post, though.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I'll turn that down for now because I don't want to hear a commercial. Yeah, I wanted to check everything out on the other devices, make sure stuff's there. And
so can you like see everything that's going on in the other ones?
So I only posted it to YouTube, not Facebook.
President Trump and Joe Biden.
Because Facebook, it wasn't. So it is on YouTube right now. I'm going to copy it and share it on Facebook, though.
Katie Walsh-Shields joins me now.
Okay.
She is a senior advisor for data at the Republican National Committee.
And that way people
former
can
chief of staff at the RNC. Welcome
tune
to Katie.
in.
Thanks for joining us. So both President Trump and Joe Biden are trying to win over this small sliver of undecided voters. What role does a debate play in attracting those voters?
The small sliver of undivided voters, she says. The small sliver.
And that it'll be the first time that voters will see the president and former Vice President Biden on the same stage.
I think there are a whole bunch of people who are just like, should I even bother?
Yeah, right.
Vice President Biden campaign very much. We haven't seen him on the trail. When we have, he's had a certain level of gaffes. And so I think this will be the first time that the voters can see them side by side. I think that that'll be a big opportunity for, as you mentioned, the small sliver of voters, but still, I think it'll make a difference.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see if we can.
On the left of your screen there, we are looking at live pictures.
The chat should be working once people get on the YouTube page. It's synced up pretty well for me yesterday.
To get underway minutes from now. So we know the basic topics for tonight. Katie, which ones do you?
Try to display messages, but it doesn't appear that I can join in. Why isn't that?
Well, I think the economy is clearly the president's.
Did you check on the morning ramble?
I think he'll.
Did I what?
Did you try to go on the morning ramble on YouTube?
Jobs he's created in the last 4 months.
No.
Reopened post shutdown with coronavirus.
Oh, I'm seeing some things. I guess I can't post.
Yeah, it's there.
So many things that are tied to.
Okay.
Back to work, including opening schools, getting kids back in school. A lot of people get their health care from their work, from their jobs. And so
sorry, everyone, if you are watching right now. Oh, there's Tad. He's on YouTube, so we should be good.
How vital it is to make sure that we're getting people back to work. And contrasting that with Joe
Hi, Tad.
You directly said.
Been a minute.
We're another shutdown if we had an outbreak.
A minute, 2 months.
I do want to ask you more about
Tad, how's the audio? You can send it during on the thing if everything sounds good.
About the coronavirus.
This is the first time we're doing this, so
we know from polling that many people are skeptical about a vaccine. The president insists that one will be ready within weeks.
I don't know, man. It should be entertaining. I think it's going to be pretty even throughout the whole thing.
I wonder what you think the president's approach should be in talking about this, given the fact that we know there are.
Hey, Eric, can you look up a picture of old man yells at cloud, please?
So they won't necessarily be in line first to get it because there has been a lot of political kind of conversation surrounding.
Go ahead and put that up on the screen.
Vaccine.
Yes.
I think the Democrats have actually made an even bigger political statement.
What, just the image itself?
Yeah, just the image itself.
And she actually wouldn't take the vaccine even if it came out. And I think that confuses the American public, and we'll continue to have this conversation between the president, who I think has been incredibly helpful in terms of his Operation Warp Speed and taking regulation out of the drug approval process to try and get a drug to market faster. I think once we have a vaccine, it'll come in record time. And I think you will see the Democrats, Vice President Biden and Senator Harris, constantly skeptical of it. And I think the American public will see through that, because the American public says, look, a vaccine should not be political. We need to protect our seniors. We need to get people back to work. We need to protect our vulnerable individuals as it relates to the COVID virus. And so I think they will kind of see through that ploy, but I think the president should be commended for his work on Operation Warp Speed.
All right, we just saw moments ago
at the Simpsons image.
Yeah,
that's what I was looking for. I know I found it, but like I can't blow it up. Like it keeps taking me to the website where the image is at.
Now, but certainly in a sign of
because that's just what I'm picturing through this entire thing.
I think everyone knows that. Grandpa.
Their chairs to be socially.
I'm really happy.
I do also want to ask
Chris
you
Wallace,
about
him?
healthcare.
When are we going to see the first debate?
On the
I like him.
He's a plan. And what are your thoughts about it getting
straight shooter?
What's his deal? Is he fun?
No,
I don't think you've seen many
He is a
things
news
get
host fun.
through in the last 4 years, or excuse me, the last 2 years with the Democrat-controlled House.
Let's see.
So I'm not terribly optimistic that anything would get passed with the Democrat-controlled House. But I do think you'll see the president continue to talk about covering pre-existing conditions.
So Matt, did you just type awesome on our own thing?
Yes, I did.
Companies, which is not historically
All right.
Republicans have taken. And so I think it is
Awesome.
really something that he will continue to talk to seniors about. It's a main issue.
Did you hear that little
did-it-do?
Yeah, what was that all about?
Yeah,
so I think you'll
that's
see the
going to
president
be...
continue to talk about the elements of a healthcare plan that he thinks are important, but I don't think there's much chance that anything gets through the Democrat control.
So that doesn't happen again.
So we shouldn't expect a sort of comprehensive plan, more piecemeal kind of elements, as you say, of what he would like to see in healthcare.
Well, I'm sure the White House will put out a
boring. Started already.
outlines of what
Don't
he
do
would
it
like
again,
to see
Brittany.
in a bill. But I think, the president will,
That's my messages on Facebook because I have my whole computer sound diverted into the feed.
And so he'll continue to put his benchmarks out and say, these are the things that I would want in a healthcare bill. If we're going to talk about what is important with healthcare with the American public, this is what I want to see. And I think he'll maybe put out position papers. I think you'll see the president communicate that directly, as he often does with American people. But I don't think you'll see any movement on it. And so I think you'll continue to see Democrats and Republicans kind of going back and forth on what they think is important. But I don't know that we'll see an actual bill to speak of.
So, Matt, were you going to watch this, or are you only watching it because I told you to come on live?
Katie, thanks.
I was not going to watch it.
No?
Thanks for having me.
No.
How could you miss this?
Because it's going to be awful, and I know it.
Joe Biden is about to get started. Let's go to our CBS News primetime special.
Yes, please do that.
Right?
When, and we'll do it together.
Former Vice President Joe Biden.
This is the most important election in the history of our country.
President Donald Trump.
Maybe he's going to be great at the debate. He's been doing it for 47 years.
The first president.
Did you just see what happened?
Against President Trump.
I can hardly.
What was that?
They said Joe Biden, and then they showed footage of Trump, and then they were like Trump, and now they showed more footage of Trump.
I can't tell the difference between these guys.
Wow, what a gaffe.
I'm Nora O'Donnell with Gail King and John.
Shut up.
Capitol, and we are just moments away from the first presidential debate between President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. After months of lobbying long-distance attacks,
it hasn't even started yet.
Candidates tonight, the gloves and the masks will come off. The two men arrived at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland a short time ago. They are not expected to shake hands because of the coronavirus pandemic.
And let's not forget, as we come on the air tonight, this virus has killed more
How
than
much do you think they're going to talk about the coronavirus
Americans.
compared to
This
the
pandemic
Supreme
has
Court
led the
justice
US
stuff?
into its worst economic contraction since more than 26.
That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure what they're going to talk about more.
Developments have thrown a lit match into an already volatile race. The Republicans' effort to quickly replace the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg with conservative Judge Amy Coney Barrett, and the latest revelations about President Trump's taxes.
So the stage is set for this first showdown. There will be no opening statements. Chris Wallace of Fox News will be asking the questions. He was chosen by the Presidential Debate Commission.
Where's the Joe Rogan debate?
And
That's what I want to watch.
6 main topics. The Trump and
the only thing I'd be interested in with Joe Rogan is which president can take a full-fledged Joe Rogan kick better. Whoever takes it better gets to be president.
Right? Like one of those slap fests. Do you ever see those, like, two guys hitting each other in the face contests?
Yeah.
We'll just have Biden and Trump line up on stage, and Joe Rogan will just kick them right in the face and see who's
in this debate. Now, the president is expecting the first question out of the gate will be about his taxes, these revelations that he basically did not pay any federal income tax for years. We're also told by the campaign as they're trying to play down the president's preparation for this debate that he actually has been practicing, and they say he's ready for any question that may come his way.
Ben Tracy, let's turn now to CBS's Ed O'Keefe. He is in the debate hall where the anticipation is building. Ed?
Participate.
Nora,
take your mask off.
Once they get rocking and rolling here in Cleveland tonight, expect Biden to focus on two key things: the president's taxes.
Actually, he's very good at talking with the mask on.
Is the mic in the mask?
If he keeps focused on those
is the microphone?
No, it's right on his tie. He's doing very well with it.
Do tonight is serve as a real-time fact checker. He'd suggested earlier this month that's what he wanted to do. His aides now say he'll instead try speaking directly the American people. Here in the room tonight, we count about 107 invited guests. That's down from the usual 900 who observe these debates in person. Nora?
900 to 107.
Ed O'Keefe, thank you. And John, does Trump know that he has to change the trajectory of this race as it stands now?
Absolutely. You can hear Ben Tracy say it, which is he's going to be going at all over the place because he wants to shake things up. That's always been his way.
The debate is about to begin. Here now, the moderator, Chris Wallace.
All right. Anticipation is killing me. No.
Good evening from the Health Education Campus of Case Western Reserve University and the Cleveland Clinic. I'm Chris Wallace of Fox News, and I welcome
you. It's in Cleveland, I guess.
2020
the Cleveland Clinic is in Cleveland. Get
between
out.
President Donald J. Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. This debate is sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates. The commission has designed the format, six roughly 15-minute segments with 2-minute answers from each candidate to the first question, then open discussion for the rest of each segment. Both campaigns have agreed to these rules. For the record, I decided the topics and the questions in each topic. I can assure you, none of the questions has been shared with the commission or the two candidates. This debate is being conducted under health and safety protocols designed by the Cleveland Clinic, which is serving as the health security advisor to the commission for all
can't
four
comment
debates.
on anything yet.
As a precaution, both campaigns have agreed the candidates will not shake hands at the beginning of tonight's debate. The audience here in the hall has promised to remain silent. No cheers,
Can they at
no
least elbow
boos
bump?
or other interruptions, so we, and more importantly you, can focus on what the candidates have to say. No noise except right now as we welcome the Republican nominee, President Trump, and the Democratic nominee, Vice President Biden.
How you doing, man?
How you doing, man? Matt, what is your face?
It's already so awkward.
I know, right? How you doing, man?
Tonight, so let's get going. Our first subject is the Supreme Court.
No fist bump.
President Trump, you nominated Amy Coney Barrett over the weekend to succeed the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the court. You say the Constitution is clear about your obligation and the Senate's to consider a nominee to the court. Vice President Biden, you say that this is an effort by the president and Republicans to jam through an appointment and what you call an abuse of power. My first question to both of you tonight, why are you right in the argument you make and your opponent wrong? And where do you think a Justice Barrett would take the court? President Trump, in this first segment, you go first, 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Chris. I will tell you very simply, we won the election. Elections have consequences. We have the Senate, we have the White House, and we have a phenomenal nominee, respected by all, top academic, good in every way, In fact, some of her biggest endorsers are very liberal people from Notre Dame and other places. So I think she's going to be fantastic. We have plenty of time. Even if we did it after the election itself. I have a lot of time after the election, as you know. So I think that she will be outstanding. She's going to be
just hands over
anybody
face.
that has served on that court. We really feel that. We have a professor at Notre Dame, highly respected by all, said she's the single greatest student he's ever had. He's been a professor for a long time at a great school. And we won the election, and therefore we have the right to choose her.
Matt, what's your thoughts there?
Does he know what all means?
Democrats, they wouldn't even think about
highly respected by all. I don't know any of these people.
There's no way they would give it up.
Let's be honest. We didn't know who this person was before she was nominated anyway. She was just one of the 15 that were pre-selected.
Exactly. He's like a professor that's highly respected by all. Who is all?
President Trump, thank you.
All professors.
Same question to you, Vice President Biden. You have 2 minutes.
Well, first of all, thank you for doing this and looking forward to this, Mr. President.
Thank you, Joe.
The American people have a right to have a say in who the Supreme Court nominee is.
It's going to be the same argument as 2016. Go
when
ahead.
They vote for a United States senators and when they vote for the President of the United States. They're not going to get that chance now because we're in the middle of an election already. The election has already started. Tens of thousands of people have already voted.
Hey, he knows that the election has started.
What should happen is we should wait. We should wait and see what the outcome of this election is, because that's the only way the American people get to express their view is by who they elect as president and who they elect as vice president. Now, what's at stake here is the president's made it clear he wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. He's been running on that. He ran on that, and he's been governing on that. He's in the Supreme Court right now trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, which will strip 20 million people from having insurance, health insurance now, if it goes into court. And the justice, and I have nothing, I'm not opposed to the justice, she seems like a very fine person. But she's written before she went on the bench, which is her right, that she thinks that the Affordable Care Act is not constitutional. The other thing that's on the court, and if it's struck down, what happens? Women's rights are fundamentally changed. Once again, a woman could be held pay more money because she has a pre-existing condition of pregnancy. They were able to charge a woman more for the same exact procedure a man gets. And that ended when we, in fact, passed the Affordable Care Act.
Excuse me, I need to take a call.
Pre-existing conditions. And they'll be taken away as well. Those pre-existing conditions, the insurance companies are going to love this. And so it's just not appropriate to do this before this election. If he wins the election and the Senate is Democrat or Republican, then he goes forward. If not, we should wait until February.
All right. There aren't 100 million people with pre-existing conditions. As far as the say is concerned, the people already had their say. Okay, Justice Ginsburg said very powerfully, very strongly, at some point, 10 years ago or so, she said a president and the Senate is elected for a period of time. But
I think I said this earlier in the week online. It's the same argument as last year, just reversed. You know,
so we have the Senate.
Democrats are pulling Republican quotes.
During that period
Republicans
of time,
are pulling Democrat quotes to put a justice through. It's all the same.
An opening. I'm not elected for 3 years. I'm elected
the only
for
difference
4 years.
now is the president and the Senate is the same party.
The 100 million people is totally wrong. I don't know where you got that number.
4 years ago, it wasn't.
The problem that you have is that you're going to extinguish 180 million people with their private health care that they're very
That's
happy
simply
with.
not true.
Well, you're certainly going to socialist. You're going to socialist medicine.
We're now into, gentlemen, we're now into open discussion.
Open discussion.
Open discussion. Yes, I agree. Go ahead, Vice President.
Number one, he knows that what I proposed. What I proposed is that we expand Obamacare and we increase it.
You missed it, Matt.
Sorry about that.
Big debates we had with 23 of my colleagues trying to win the debates that I won. We're saying that Biden wanted to allow people to have.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They do. They will under my proposal.
It's not what you've said, and it's not what your party has said.
That is simply
your party doesn't say. Your party wants to go socialist medicine.
My party is
and
me.
Socialist
right
healthcare.
Now. I am,
and
the
they're going to dominate
party.
You, Joe. You know that.
I am the Democratic Party right now. The platform of the Democratic
He's going
Party
completely back on what he said in the primary. You know,
what
he believes in Medicare for all.
Here's the deal.
That's what Trump's aiming at.
It's going to wipe out pre-existing conditions. And by the way, the 200,000 people that have died on his watch, how many of those have survived? Well, there's 7 million people that contracted COVID. What does it mean for them going forward if you strike down the Affordable Care Act? And
Joe, you've had 308,000 military people dying because you couldn't provide them proper health care in the military. So don't tell me about this.
I'm happy to talk about
And if you were here, it wouldn't be 200. It would be 2 million people because you were very late on the draw. You didn't want me to ban China, which was heavily infected. You didn't want me to ban.
All right, gentlemen,
which was heavily infected. You would have been much later, Joe.
Mr. President,
much later.
Mr. President.
You're talking about 2 million people.
You're not President, as a moderator, we are going to talk about COVID in the next segment.
Awkwardly laugh.
Let me finish. The point is that the president also is opposed to Roe v. Wade. That's on the ballot as well.
They're just getting all these out in the beginning.
And so that's also at stake right now. And so the election is all.
You don't know it's on the ballot. Why is it on the ballot?
Because
why is it on the ballot? It's not on the ballot.
It's on the ballot in the court.
I don't think so.
In the court. Well,
there's nothing happening there.
Donald, would you
and
just
you don't know her view on Roe v. Wade.
I don't know
her view.
Well, all right. Let's talk. We got a lot to unpack here, gentlemen. We got a lot of time. So on health care, and then we'll come back to Roe v. Wade.
All right.
Mr. President, the Supreme Court.
I don't know. What do you, I mean, this is the kind of the main thing that's happening is like, you know, Joe Biden kind of went with all the other Democrats in the primary, you know, talking about Medicare for all. And now since he's in the general, he's backing up a little bit. I'm just curious, you know, what his actual platform is now, you know?
Joe Biden has always been a moderate Democrat. He's never been a liberal Democrat. So when you're thinking about what his platform is, what you're thinking about is a moderate take on things.
It's just, the thing is, though, that as far as that issue goes, it's completely against what he was saying in the primaries. You know, when you had people like Bernie and Elizabeth Warren who were advocating for Medicare for all, and he said yes as well. You know, and that's what, you know, Trump's pointing out. And obviously, it's not a very popular thing among, I guess, definitely Republicans.
And I would like you to let me ask my question, and then you can answer.
Go ahead.
Well, the question.
In the course of these 4 years, have never come up with a comprehensive plan to replace Obamacare. And just this last Thursday, you signed a largely symbolic executive order to protect people with pre-existing conditions 5 days before this debate. So my question, sir, is what is the Trump health care plan?
Right. Well, first of all, I guess I'm debating you, not him, but that's okay. I'm not surprised. Let me just tell you something, that there's nothing symbolic. I'm cutting drug prices. I'm going with favored nations, which no president has the courage to do because you're going against big pharma. Drug prices will be coming down 80 or 90%. You could have done it during your 47-year period in government, but you didn't do it.
I mean, he didn't do that just 5 days prior. I think Trump also had a bill about pharmaceutical prices. Was it last year or the year before?
Destroying families, destroying people. Because I'm getting it for so cheap. It's like water. You want to know the truth? So cheap. Take a look at all of the drugs that what we're doing, prescription drug prices. We're going to allow our governors now to go to other countries to buy drugs because they pay just a tiny fraction.
As I say, this is open discussion.
No,
let me ask you,
this is big stuff.
Sir, you'll be happy. I'm about to pick up on one of your points to ask the vice president, which is he points out that you would like to add a public option to Obamacare, and the argument that he makes and other Republicans make is that that is going to end private insurance.
It is
and
not.
Well, if I can ask you the question, it will
Not
end.
what your party says, by the way.
It will end private insurance.
Since we're in a lull
create
here,
government takeover of
might be a
healthcare.
second glitch. You might have to re-click the video in 1 second. I'm going to broadcast this to Facebook as well. All right, Matt?
Except governors
Okay. 1 second.
For Medicaid.